This is major breaking news. We have top generals warning of a, quote, civil army. A civilian army needs to be formed. This is on top of the top NATO admiral that we had warning just a few days ago. We now have a top general warning that we need to form a, quote, civilian army. And we have top senators, the number 2 senator in the U.S. Congress. They are now telling us what is going on, and they are now warning us why this invasion at the border is happening. All right, they are setting us up and setting these people up to be joined and conscripted into the military and into NATO if there's a giant war. And this goes hand in hand with what this top general is warning of as well. Now we have top U.S. senators also warning that the people coming over, they could be drafted. They could be drafted. They could enter our military. And this could be one of the reasons why they're allowing this massive flow to enter our country. So if something big pops off, right, and they're getting ready for something big, we have the biggest NATO drill in history, all right, 90,000 NATO troops steadfast. Defender is now starting today on Wednesday, and at the same time we are allowing millions of people to enter our country. We are also seeing calls to federalize the National Guard in Texas and allow the federal government to take over the Texas National Guard. We're going to get into that story in a little bit too. And we are also seeing potential sabotage of our U.S. airline systems. All right, we keep seeing incident after incident, and there was a new one that could have been catastrophic. All right, there's been a couple of them recently, but we just had another one that could have been very bad. All right, thankfully they caught it before they took off, but these incidents are happening more and more, and it could be sabotage potentially, or just incompetence. All right, our airlines are not safe. We're going to cover that too at the end of the video. So let's dive into this. I want you to listen to this U.S. senator, the number 2 senator in the United States, right? He's right under the Senate Majority Leader, and he is warning that migrants, quote, migrants could be entered into the U.S. military, and this could be the reason why we are seeing this surge at the border and why they're allowing it to happen, because they are setting us up for a massive war. We also have this top general warning that we need to form, quote, civilian armies because the levels are so low. The recruitment levels are so low. All right, they need people, and these could be the people that we see entered into our military and into NATO to fight this World War III scenario that is being set up for us right now. All right, so let's get into this warning. I want you to listen to this top U.S. Senator. This is Dick Durbin from Illinois, and he is warning that, quote, migrants could become part of the military very soon. All right, I want you to listen to this and put this together with all these top generals and admirals warning that we could have conscription and potentially draft-like scenarios happening, or even takeovers of the civilian sector of our populations. All right, I want you to listen to this really quick.
Labor, we needed the workers. It's happened many times before. What troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there is also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should. And let me tell you about others that we need.
So you heard that. That was Senator Dick Durbin, the number 2 senator under Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, right? So this is a very powerful warning, and this could be the key to it all, because this could be the reason why they are fighting so hard to allow these people into our country. It doesn't make sense. And this could be one of the big keys, is that they are planning a massive war. They're planning a massive war to break out one way or another. All right, they know somehow that a major war is going to break out, and they're getting prepared for it, and they need more troops. All right, this could be part of the reason why they are fighting so hard to tear down the barriers that Texas is putting in place. It seems like they are going for broke. They are just printing unlimited money, right? Driving the debt up, creating all these unsustainable programs that are unaffordable for the states and the country. All these things are being set up. It seems like they are going for broke because they know that something big is going to happen very soon. And it seems like they're getting ready for a major war to break out, right? So this needs to be on our radar, and this could be the reason why they are allowing millions of people into our country, right? And this is a debatable topic as well. Do we even want millions of people that aren't completely loyal to our country entering into the military, right? It might be okay in small populations, like very small percentages, because they would be forced to integrate to people that have a loyalty to America. But if it's a large percentage, they might not form a loyalty to this country, right? In a battle scenario, they might not be here for our country. And this has happened to countries and empires throughout history. The Roman Empire did a very similar thing during the end of its collapse. They started outsourcing their soldiers and hiring mercenaries and spread themselves too thin, right? So let's hope we aren't entering that scenario, right? We don't want that for our country, but it seems like they're getting us ready for a major war coming very soon, right? And you can see here this top general is also warning, giving a very similar warning, okay? He is saying that the recruitment rates are too low and we need to have, quote, citizen armies, all right? So this is a top general in the UK Army. His name is General Patrick Sanders. And you can see here from this article, it says people in Britain should be ready to serve in the military in the event of a war with Russia. The head of the British Army has warned. General Patrick Sanders on Wednesday called on the British authorities to, quote, mobilize the nation to prepare for a war with Russia in a speech at the International Armored Vehicles Exhibition in London. This is crazy. He called on authorities to, quote, mobilize the nation. He said the public needs to be mentally ready for war. He called for Britain to train a, quote, citizen army ready for a land war, as he questioned the size of the country's army and urged its modernization. He said, quote, we will not be immune. And as the pre-war generation, we must similarly prepare. And that is a whole of nation undertaking, he said. Quote, Ukraine brutally illustrates that regular armies start wars. Citizen armies win them. Okay, so do you hear that? He's saying citizen armies need to be established. This is on top of the top NATO ambassador that just warned of a very similar thing. He said that we need to have a whole of society mobilization and conscription of the citizens to do certain tasks within society. They're saying that they're going to mobilize society to change overnight for this war that's coming, all right? And he's saying mobilize the nation, citizen armies. This is exactly what this NATO ambassador was saying too. And he's saying we need to prepare. All right, this is a very serious warning. This is coming from a top UK army chief. The head of the UK army is warning of this right now, right? So put this in coordination. The UK is having a very similar issue with this, quote, migrant crisis, where hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people are showing up in their country and there's nowhere to put them. And they are actually building military barracks tents. All right, these look like military barracks, these tents that they're setting up and housing these people in, and they're giving them phones and they're giving them food and resources and money. But only certain people from certain countries get access to these benefits. So what's really going on? Are they setting up these people to be conscripted into a larger war when things pop off? Because it just doesn't make sense that they are going all out. There's also more nefarious things to alter society and bring society down, but a massive war, World War III, is also going to alter society, change society, and allow them to do lockdowns and clampdowns like we've never seen before. And as we speak, we already see the federal government, we see calls for it to take over the states. All right, we are seeing top Democrat representatives, they are also coming out and saying that the federal government needs to federalize the National Guard in Texas, to take control of the Texas National Guard and to stop them from building even more barriers, okay? Because the Supreme Court ruled that they could remove the barriers, but they never said that Texas couldn't place more barriers in place. So they're just doubling down and adding even more. That's what the Texas governor is saying. And he's activating Texas self-defense. He's saying this is self-defense for the state and citizens of Texas, and this is their legal standing. All right, that's what the Texas governor is saying. And we have this Democrat representative, his name is Joaquin Castro, and he is saying that the federal government needs to federalize the Texas National Guard. All right, so if we see a major war pop off, we could definitely see the federal government nationalize all the National Guard to have control over them and to activate them and coordinate them and move them throughout the country to set up certain checkpoints, certain regions, certain lockdowns, clampdowns, surveillance in certain areas if things are escalating, right? So very real scenario. We're already seeing this happen, and it's starting to make sense now. This all makes sense now. They want these people here so they can have this massive army of people that they're going to force to work and build and serve, right? That's exactly what they're warning. Multiple top military leaders in the past week have warned of this, okay? We also have the Oklahoma governor. He is coming out and he's saying that he stands with Texas and will support Texas and potentially will offer support. We have the Florida governor coming out and saying he will send personnel and supplies to Texas to help with this situation. We also could see these networks activated inside the U.S. from foreign governments that have been allowed to come over here uninhibited, and they could get the warning, get the call, get the alert that they need to be activated and they need to do something inside of our country as well, right? Very serious situation happening at our border, and it needs to be shut down, right? We also have potential sabotage happening in our airlines, right? We keep seeing incidents after incident, and now we've seen multiple other incidents as well. We're seeing wheels fly off planes, right? Which could have been catastrophic, they're saying. And we are also seeing missing bolts on multiple different planes, all right? We have the Alaska Airlines CEO saying that many of its Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes were found to have loose or missing bolts. This comes after people were reporting and taking pictures. They were about to take off, and they looked out their window and they saw a part of the plane with a row of missing bolts and giant holes for a section of metal for the plane, right? Nobody's checking this. Nobody checked it. Nobody saw. And it was up to the person that was in the plane, riding on the plane, looking out the window. And then you have to have somebody that actually will say something and be like, hey, what's going on over here? And thankfully somebody said something and they were able to fix it. But this is the situation that we were in. How did these row of bolts even go missing, and how did nobody notice? Something major is going on with our airline industry as well, and it's a national security threat because these planes they're flying over everyone's heads all day long. And when you're in there, you're trapped in a plane in this tin can up in the sky, right? And you're putting your life in everyone else's hands. You're trusting the airline to be competent and be safe, and it seems like they aren't very safe anymore, right? We also saw another situation where the nose wheel flew off a Boeing 757. Okay, so a Boeing 757 lost its nose wheel while preparing for takeoff in Atlanta. It says the nose wheel of the Boeing 757 passenger jet operated by Delta Airlines popped off and rolled away as the plane was lining for takeoff over the weekend at Atlanta's International Airport. Okay, so the wheel just popped off, and that could have been catastrophic if they were trying to land, right? If this fell off at a different time when they were putting the gears up, right? When they were already in the air, and they wouldn't be able to land properly if this wheel fell off, right? There's just thing after thing. This used to be a very rare occurrence. There's been all these near misses. There's been all these fires, right? Doors flying off, people going crazy. It seems like there could be some kind of sabotage going on with our airlines, or it's just a deterioration, right? Things are just getting so bad that our country is breaking down. These basic services that used to function in our country, they're slowly just going offline. They're slowly going offline. Everything's getting crappier, built worse, built cheaper parts, less competency. All these things are going down, and it's affecting our national security as well, and our critical infrastructure is being affected by this, and it opens us up to attacks and major mishaps. So please hit it up for me down there to help get this video out, and let me know what you guys think. What do you think is really going on at the southern border? Why are they allowing this to happen? Why are they fighting so hard to remove the razor wire and overwhelm our country and overwhelm the social services and our financial services, the economy, the national debt? Why are they doing this? Why are they allowing this? Are they just going for broke because they know a major war is coming and they're going to need people to be conscripted, all right? Even in Ukraine right now, they are now trying to, the people that fled, any men that fled Ukraine at the start of this, they are now trying to round them up throughout Europe and deport them back to Ukraine to serve in the military there, right? Because their recruitment numbers are low there, and they're running out of people there. They're literally just running out of people. Okay, so they are talking about getting people, finding them throughout Europe and bringing them back to Ukraine, right? This is a major issue all across the globe, these recruitment numbers, and this could be, maybe they think this is their solution to it, right? So please hit it up for me down there. Let me know what you guys think about this. Make sure you are getting ready. Make sure you are stocked up. All right, they were also warning recently that you need to be stocked up on food. You need to be stocked up on water. You need to be stocked up on a radio and batteries, because they are saying that we could see blackout scenarios. We could see a EMP. We could see cables cut. We could see underwater internet cables cut. There's been dozens of cables cut the past few years that have actually caused major disruptions. One of them last year caused major disruptions throughout France. Okay, there was a cable cut in the northern part of France, and there were major disruptions there. All right, so this can happen anywhere. There was a cable cut in Alaska last year as well. Cables were cut to Taiwan. These critical infrastructures could be hit and are going to be hit if we see a major escalation or a major war breakout. We could see massive cyber attacks as well on the grid and the water systems. And with a cyber attack on the grid, they could take over the computers that control the flow of the grid and surge the grid and damage the electrical equipment for the grid with the surge. Okay, it's very similar to what happens with a EMP or a solar flare. There's a excess surge on the grid and the equipment can't handle it and it fries the equipment pretty much. They could artificially cause this if they take over the computer systems with a cyber attack on the grid as well, right? And they were warning, get a radio, get a flashlight, get batteries. They know that something big is coming, and we could see false flag scenarios as well. I hate to even say that, but that is something that is in the cards. We've seen major war after major war started by these false flags. Hopefully that isn't what happens, but it's a card that is on the table, right? So make sure you're getting ready. Make sure you're getting prepared. Make sure you have a generator. You're stocked up on gas. Have your gas tanks filled, your water tanks filled, your prepper pantry filled and stocked up with canned goods, with rice. Make sure you are growing your own food, all right? Getting chickens, growing a garden. That's what we're working on right now. Make sure you are doing all these things to get yourself prepared and ready for what comes next, right? So thank you guys so much. I hope you have big blessings for your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.